Hello out there, we're on the air, it's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period, where players dance with skates aflash, the home team trails behind, but they grab the puck and go bursting up and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees, they travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside, it's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh, the old
Hockey Fan Report. Oh, and I can't hit the right buttons when I want to hit the right buttons. I'm buttons again today. Come on. What's going on with my board? There we go. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. There's my song. Hello, it is a grand old hockey day on Mardi Gras. I know in St. Louis they had the Mardi Gras parade today, and the boys from the Blues, the alumni, were there in their tent. I was talking to Mike Zook, and he was having a good old time. Yeah, he was tired. He's got some stuff to do for me, and hopefully we can get it done. We've had some issues, man. But stuff happens, and you're trying the best you can. Forgive me and hate me or whatever. You know, it just happens the way it goes. Hey, Ito. Hey, Brian. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the show. This is the Hawaii Blues Fan. Yes, I am. I'm watching the Stadium Series game. Very intense, very aggressive game. And you know what? That's what the NHL wanted. That's what Nashville wanted. The jerseys, oh, man, they are ugly. I like the bolts. I like that one. Okay, that is the white with just the blue. That's pretty cool. I like that. Simple, but gets its point across. The Smashville jerseys are just ugly. I usually love negative space stuff. I love stuff where it comes into negative space. However, we got Josh here today. However, the Nashville, the way they did it, I just don't like it, you know. The jerseys are hard to follow. They're not a lot of fun. Yeah, I didn't like it. I think they're doing a good job with the series, though, or with the outdoor game. You know, they're getting the Nashville stuff around and all of that. Don't like, you know, I think that big logo on the helmet sure better than some of the advertising out there. So I'll take that. I will take that, to be honest with you. A lot better than the advertising with some of these things. I will say that the helmet advertising hasn't been bad. It's been minimal. It's, you know, in a lot of cases, it's just a word or something like that. However, you know, I'm waiting for someone to really come up with something gaudy, because it's going to happen. Somebody's going to come up with something gaudy, and it's going to get put out there. I don't want to see it. I don't know how many of you guys are here, but I'm kind of waiting. Yesterday, somebody brought up about me talking about my service time and some of the things that I went through. I really want to know if you guys are interested in that, or if that's something that you'd want to hear, or is it something that would take away from the show itself? Would it be too much, you know? I guess that's what I'm saying. Excuse me. You know, we all know how my GERD gets in there. I was checking standings today. I was looking at some things. A lot of games going on, and they were talking about it on NHL Tonight last night, and they've talked about it a little bit on Hey, Wendy. They talked also a little bit about it on TNT. Teams are positioning for playoff spots, right? Today was the fourth time in the history of the two teams that Pittsburgh beat um, the Rangers 1-0. That's only happened four times. That just boggles my mind. 1-0 games, especially in the old days, they were all over the place. But but they were saying, that those two teams are there. They know they're in the playoffs, so they're positioning. To me, honestly, there's no team out there that really knows it's in the playoffs. I think, any team can have a major injury or two and all of a sudden lose a bunch of games. You're 30 games left. You're right around the 30 game mark, 30 or more. The last I was looking. Let's see. Yes, I did see that, Wendy. You guys ended up with a double hat trick last night. That's pretty cool, actually. It was Patrick Kane, and I can't remember who the other player was. Right? Oh, Sports Freak, I appreciate that, my friend. In my opinion, we have a major war going on. So me personally, I don't want to hear about more war, but you do what you want. It's your shore. But no, I host it and I run it, but it's your guy's show too. That's why I asked for your opinion so much. Right? Brandon Hagel, that was the other guy. Hagel had it. I think that was Hagel's only first or second hat trick, right? I don't think he has a lot of them. Right? Pretty interesting. I mean, I thought that the Devils were going to. I mean, the Devils looked like they were giving it to him, but then all of a sudden, Chicago figured it out and just romped them, man. I didn't see it, so I don't know. Says Subban Trip was dirty last night on Hagel. I didn't see it, so I don't know. But I saw a couple of in a couple of groups I'm in. I saw some Blackhawks posts that they didn't like it. It's really interesting how and this is something that's I love how two people see the same play and think completely differently, right? Yeah, that was his 100th game and his first hat trick. So congratulations there, Brandon Hagel, on your first hat trick. What a night to get it, This Ukraine war has me very upset. I can understand that. Subban, I don't want to say that he's a POS. I don't think he is. I actually think he's a very good player who does some things that are questionable, but there's other players out there that do it too. I actually like Subban. Of the guys that are considered dirty, I like Subban. I like what he brings to the table, right? I do. And I like his off-ice persona too. I think that helps, right? I know he's a little, and this used to be a bad word to say, but flamboyant, right? But he puts himself out there, and I appreciate that about him. I like when guys do that. I really, really do. I like when guys put themselves out there. Devils fans were saying the trip was dirty. Well, I didn't see it, Wendy, so I don't know, to be honest with you. With the Ukraine thing, I want people to understand this. We've probably had a war going on somewhere on this earth since the beginning of time. There's always a war happening. There's always fractions that are fighting. I mean, look what's going down. I mean, no one thinks about it, but in South America, they've been dealing with this stuff for hundreds of years, So, and I'm not trying to minimize what you said there, Sports Freak, not in the least bit. I'm just trying to say that it's always going to be going on, and it's just something that we need to understand and work with or deal with in the best ways possible, right? I don't know enough. I really don't. I don't know enough about the situation to say it, but I am interested. Watched a little NASCAR today, the Xfinity Series. I enjoy NASCAR, believe it or not. Playing a NASCAR fantasy league with Bob Morton, our buddy Bob Morton. Oh man, I lost everybody. Everybody ran away from me. Nobody likes me today. Did it click off of? Did it go to friend again? No, it still says public. Might have to refresh it to see. But Interesting race down there in Fontana. I didn't see who won it, but the cars were having some trouble. That track's older. Surface isn't new. A very bumpy track. Very interesting track to watch. I enjoyed watching the race. I watched a little bit of I watched the qualifying for the NASCAR race tomorrow, and that turned out to be interesting. Cars were slipping and sliding and made some misses in that. But, kind of is what it is. You get what you get. All the comments are on YouTube. Yeah, I'm seeing that. I don't know why anybody's not on Facebook. I know I put it out there on Facebook, but hey, it is what it is. We enjoy that, and thank you for joining us, T-Lo. We appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that comes on the show and says that. Okay, so where was I? Where was that? I was watching. We were talking about NASCAR. We're talking about the Xfinity Series, talking about the Stadium Series game, and then we get this idiot who wants to go and put something negative on there. Let's block that out. One of these, they want to figure out how to put a moderator on. I guess you got to do it by URL. You have to do their URL to put them on, and I'm not smart enough to do that sometimes when I'm doing this. But hey, it is what it is, and we deal with it. And that's the way I'm looking at life. You deal with it, right? You deal with it. You deal with the Ukraine stuff. You deal with the what's going on in your life, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm dealing with it, right? That's what we do. We deal with it. Oh, okay. Let me get back into hockey here real quick. Let's take a quick look at the standings. I'd seen something yesterday that was kind of interesting to me, that kind of popped out, and let's see if I can remember what it was and pull it up. We're bringing up the standings. By the way, right now Montreal is leading Ottawa 2-1. Tampa Bay is up 2-1 with 5:53 to go in the second. Toronto over Detroit 7-3 with 19:25 to go. Earlier in the day, Edmonton beat Florida 4-3. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was hurt. He's listed day to day. Philly got a 2-1 win over the Capitals with Carter Hutton in net. And Pittsburgh, I talked about that, 1-0 over the Rangers. A lot of teams are positioning themselves for playoff runs. And right now, you look at Carolina has a pretty good lead. Carolina and Florida, to me, are set. Once you get into that 80, if you're getting into the 80-point range now in the 50-game mark, 75 or more, I think for the most part, unless you have an absolute complete collapse, you're in there. But Florida's on a 3-game losing streak. Tampa Bay catching right up with 3 games in hand. They could sneak up on them. Toronto has 2 games in hand with 70 points. But you've got the Caps in Boston sitting there in the wild card spot, and they're pretty well, I want to say, solidified in there. I don't see anybody else that looks like they could make a run at a wild card. Columbus at 27-24-1 is 55 points, but they're 9 points behind Boston and Boston has a game in hand. That's just a lot of games to make up, right? You're talking 10 points, basically, 5 games, right? It's just like the Blues with first place. I don't think we're making up 6 games on the Avalanche, who ended up winning yesterday along with Chicago. So then you go in the Central Division. You have Colorado, first team to hit 80 points. They are leading the league. 52 games are 38-10-4. They're basically 28 games over 500. Wow. I mean, that's impressive, right? To only lose 10 games this far at 52, really 14 games, right? They've won. Yeah, that's just amazing. 769 points percentage. They're on a pace. I want to say right now, they're on a pace for like 118 points, right? Let me double check. 162 times 0.769, 124 point pace. I think that's a record. I mean, if they keep it up, that's just going to be a record. They're up into a harder point of their schedule right now. They're showing Pat Maroon in his 3 rings. His Blues ring is beautiful, man. The Blues, that's something that we can talk about real quick. The Blues have put up a thing that shows the ring, the Stanley Cup ring, like a big old model of the Stanley Cup ring. Pretty neat. Have I heard Dominic Hasek's comments about Russian players in NHL? I have not heard it, but if you can send me the link or tell me what it is, I'd like to know. I'd like to answer. To be honest with you, here's my thoughts on this, right? I worry about some of those players' family safeties. I don't think that we have any Ukrainian players per se in the league, but it's not that. It's the perception that Russia is also possibly going back to some type of communistic martial law, where if you speak negative of the government, things can happen. And that's something that concerns me. And I know there's guys that have, family over there. So they've got to be very careful in what they say. However, I wouldn't mind hearing their thoughts. I wouldn't mind, just hearing what they have to say. And I think that they do need to answer the question, because the longer you don't answer the question, the more the bigger and larger the question gets, right? And that's something that's kind of important. You have to remember that you, by answering the question, you take the question away, right? You take it away, and for better or worse, it's helpful sometimes. So that's kind of what it is, right? Man, I don't know what's going on today. Just one of them days nobody wants to talk. Oh, it's Mardi Gras in St. Louis. I guess that's got a lot to do with it. I was speaking to my buddy Bob Kolzik earlier today, man. Bob, I think you're going to be fine, buddy. He called me not in a great mood, needing a friend to talk to, and that felt really good that somebody would reach out to me like that. I really appreciate you, Bob. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tilo. I appreciate that. Waiting on Brian to see if he sends me that thing. Anybody else out there? Is anybody out there? 2:19 to go in the second. Tampa is up 2-1 on Nashville. That's good for us. I can go back into the standings real quick, what I was talking about on the West. So Calgary right now, is in the catbird seat, basically. They played 50 games. They have 2 games in hand on both Los Angeles and Vegas. And they're at 66 points, right? I mean, that's just they're in a very, very good position, right? St. Louis is at 51 games played, 31-14-6 for 68 points. They're up there. They're in that high point range zone. Nashville, Edmonton, Dallas, Anaheim, and Winnipeg and Vancouver, all maybe even San Jose, all could move into a wild card spot, though I see Winnipeg and San Jose now being on the outside looking in. Vancouver is quite possibly there too. You have, really for the third spot in the Pacific, you have Vegas with 52 points, 29, 19, and 4 with 62 points. You have Edmonton at 29, 20, and 3, 52 games played for 61 points. As an easy flip-flop. You have Anaheim, though they've already played 54 games, are at 59 points also. They could easily, if a couple of things fall, jump into where they need to be. This is the time that you're pushing for oh, wow. Hasek said that? Wow. Oh, man, I got to look that up, see if I can find it. Yeah, I got to spell Hasek right first. Let's see if I can find that here real quick. No, I'm not finding it. I have to look. I'm Hasekehasek. There we go. Got to spell it right first. Maybe it'll come up. Here we go. Let's see. Czech. Oh, he's Czechoslovakian. Recipe to be suspended from the National Hockey League on Saturday following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, I don't agree with that. Hockey, regarded as one of the greatest goaltender play, took aim at Ovechkin's failure to condemn Russia. Remarks branding him an ableist and chicken crap. Not that word. Every adult in Europe knows well that Putin is a mad killer and that Russia is waging an offensive war against the free country and its people, Hasek wrote. Oh, wow. He did go off, right? Added that even Russian players who contempt. I'm sorry, I don't want to go there. I don't think that. I don't think that's right. I don't think you can condemn or suspend the guys from Russia from playing in the league. I disagree with that. I found it, bud. I ended up finding it. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, bud. I found it, and I guess. Oh wow! Everybody ran away. Running away. I understand. I do see where Hasek is coming from. Believe it or not, I see where he's coming from. However, it's an extremist view, right? I do see there is an issue with Ovechkin, right? However, I want you to understand this. I don't know enough about the situation. I heard this from somebody. I don't want to say heard this. I had a conversation with somebody who has a friend that is in the Ukraine right now reporting and has been for about 4 months. And the reports that friend is coming out with are different from what we're being no problem, me. I just lost my place. Excuse me. That the stuff that we're hearing isn't exactly. I mean, it's spun a little bit, right? And that's why I don't know. I mean, I've heard you want to talk about hearing some out of this world stuff. I mean, something that made me just jaw drop, right? Jaw drop. Somebody followed me on Twitter, and when someone follows me on Twitter, I usually go look at their page before I follow them. I want to make sure that I'm not following a fake account or an account that especially new accounts. I'm very careful with new accounts. And they put a post up that said something along the lines of, "You're not going to believe what I'm hearing." Actually, let me try something here real quick. Right? No, actually, that's not what I want. Go back to profile. Here we go. Actually, this person might no longer be following me. I thought he was. This might be it. No, that's not the account. My guess is the person that put it heard me talk and unfollowed me, which wouldn't surprise me. Uh, yeah, I'm not seeing it now. Actually, it might have been on another account. That might have been why. Let me look at another account here real quick. I kind of want to read this because it just goes to show that people will believe anything if they want to believe. If that's their mindset, that's what they're going to believe, right? And it's plain and simple because there's no way that this comment made any sense whatsoever to me. All right? Yeah, I think this guy. So this. Wow. Here we go. This I don't know where he got it from, and I'm just gonna read. And again, this is not me. This is not what I believe, but this is what somebody posted. Right? You'll be shocked at this story. A little birdie tells me Putin is invading Ukraine to expose secrets of Biden's crime family. Huge Hunter and Joe Biden corruption is hidden there. Putin will get it all, destroy Biden, and embarrass USA. He's sick of being lectured on corruption of Russia. He will expose Biden as biggest crook, fraud, and traitor in history of USA. Right there, that right there is the idiocy. If Biden has to go invade a country to get for that, I'm sorry, there's an issue, bud. I would see a huge issue there. But that's where when somehow we get to one side or the other, we go so far out there, right, that we don't understand or we just believe everything. There's no way that I would ever believe or repost that what I just read. I would never ever, because there's no way that's been verified. None. Absolutely none. And I'm with you there too, Tanner. My comment was long, but it didn't go through. Basically, there's some Russian tennis player that made a comment by writing on the camera lens, "No more war." I do not want to make this political. This is one of those times where politics and sports have crossed, right? I don't agree with the comments at all. Some of the players don't have anything to do with it just because they're Russian-born. Doesn't mean they like Putin. Yeah, but it's not. Look, it's not whether or not you like Putin. It's not whether or not you support Putin. It's not. It's really not. Okay? How many? And this is my experience, and I'll go with this. During the Gulf War, the first Gulf War in Desert Shield started in September, October of 1990. Desert Storm happened January 16th of 1991, and it ended in the late February of 91. During that period, how many Iraqi-born people in the U.S., right, were kicked out of their jobs because they were Iraqi? I honestly don't know of any. There may be some. We have people out there that might have. But to me, I don't see it, because if you fired someone for their nationality in the United States, you could be sued. That's a breaking a law. That's absolutely, completely breaking a law. I mean, that's how I look at it, right? I mean, straight up, if there were, they should sue. Because I mean, they should have gone to the government and filed a police report, because they're breaking a law. They're absolutely breaking labor laws, right? You cannot, if you have, that's an EEO, equal opportunity, equal employment opportunity. There you go. Had to think about it for a second. But that's a law, straight up, right? And that's why the comment doesn't go. I saw a great photo on social media of this couple who one was born in Ukraine and the other was born. They were holding both country flags together, hugging in the middle of the city. That's cool, and there's going to be stuff like that. Our lives has changed because of media, right? And media has changed, right? There we go. I would have figured as much, media is good and bad. The one problem with media, and it's been a problem with media from the beginning, is that very few journalists really are subjective, right? Very few. Pulitzer wasn't. I mean, basically, he started a war over trying to sell newspapers, right? The Spanish War with Cuba, right? With the USS Maine, that was started over selling newspapers, right? There's a lot of stuff out there that goes on. Media can be good and it can be bad, right? The important thing is that you always need to hear both sides. That's what I try and give you with the hockey show, both sides. See both sides. Hear both sides, right? That's why I love differing opinions to mine. What's your side? What's your side of the story? Because believe it or not, everyone thinks there's three sides of the story, and there's not. Or two sides of the story, and there's not. There's three. There's your side, there's my side, and there's a truth that lies somewhere in the middle. Plain and simple, right? When we look at the Vladimir Tarasenko trade stuff, I was talking with Bob about that today, right? The Vladimir Tarasenko trade stuff. Now, see, this right now, I didn't find that funny at all. Making fun of somebody's dance. That was on the intermission report, on the Discovery Intermission Report on TNT. I'm not sure who it was, but I didn't find it funny, to be honest. Right? Why do we have to make fun of other people? Someone wants to dance the way they dance, great. Why make fun of it? I mean, stop. Unless they're doing it on stage as a comedy act, not worth it. Right? Treat everybody the way you want to be treated. Right? If you don't want people to laugh at you, don't laugh at other people. Right? If you think someone's weaker than you, well, fine. Think they're weaker than you, but don't force it. Don't try and make it. Right? That's what a bully does. Right? Let's stop being bullies. Let's all. We're all bullies, and we're all, and I don't know what the other word is, bullied. Right? Everybody is. It doesn't, it's always going to happen. It's always going to happen. But someday we're going to figure it out. We're going to evolve as a race, and we're going to figure out that we all breathe the same air. We all eat the same type of food. We all bleed the same color. And we all think the same. We all think differently, but we're the same. Right? Right? And that's the way it is. Well, see, when you say that, sports freak, and don't take this wrong, but isn't that you bullying a bully in some ways? Right? And don't take this wrong. I get it. I see what you're saying, and I appreciate that. But you know what I'd rather do? I'd rather let the truth speak for me. Right? I'd rather let the truth speak for me and overpower others. That's how I believe. Right? Let the truth speak for itself. Right? Let the truth speak for itself. And this Ukraine stuff has been going down for a while. Right? I seen another thing. A buddy of mine posted it and talked about how Ukraine has huge deposits of things like uranium, titanium, and mineral ores that Russia's running out of. And that, I don't know if that's true or not, but it could be. I got discriminated and hated on because of the disabilities I have, but no matter what I try to get positive vibes around and try to have people learn that's what's right and not and I spread awareness. That's great on you, Brian. I appreciate. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. That's all it is. No one that's ever walked this earth, and I'm sorry, this is going to piss somebody off, but in my eyes, no one that has ever set foot on this earth is perfect. No one. Right? Absolutely no one. Mary, you're getting to enjoy your husband. That's fine. Enjoy him. Right? And I know you're dealing with your ankle too, so you're fine. We all have issues. We all have problems. We all need to be a little bit kinder, be a little bit nicer. Right? We all need to make sure that before we say something, we have all the facts. Both sides of the story, not just one side, right? Not just one side. Look at goaltender interference, right? You can, and this is a hockey, getting back to hockey a little bit. You can absolutely. They were blowing him out earlier today. I think the last score I seen was, they were destroying Detroit. 9-7. Wow, come back Detroit. Wow, 9-7 with 8:44 to go in the third. 16 goals in a game. I can't. Wow, that's some crappy goaltending there. Wow. Oh, it was Biz Nasty who was doing that. Sorry, I didn't find it funny or hilarious. Ryan Whitney, Biz Nasty. I think that's who goes. Or was that Paul Bissonnette? Paul Bissonnette. I think that's the one that goes by Biz. Yeah, Biz Nasty. Paul Bissonnette. Okay. 9-7. Wow. Sports Freak says that's why I'm so proud of Ukraine. Well, we're kind of. To circle back, someone has to kill the wolves. Well, you're right there. Sometimes they have to. Well, we're coming up on that 40-minute mark, and I got a few people watching now. Thank you to Marianne Holmes and Lance. Oh, Lance was watching earlier. I don't know if he's still there, but thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, Lance. I really do. Let's talk a little bit about tomorrow. The Blues are up in Chicago for a matchup with the Chicago Blackhawks, and an important matchup at that. The two teams are not in the same place in the standings at all. St. Louis is 51 games played, 31-14-6 for 68 points and a .667 winning percentage, whereas Chicago sits second from last in the West. 53 games played. They're 19-26-8, 46 points for a .434 points percentage. Statistically, I don't think there's any category where Chicago will have better numbers than St. Louis, right? St. Louis in their last 10 are 6-3-1. Chicago is 3-6-1, right? Shootouts were 2-2. They're 3-2. So they're somewhere one area where they're a little bit better than us. They won one more shootout than us, right? But they played one more shootout than us. We've won more games at home than they have combined. We're 19-6-2, and they're 19-26-8. So that goes to tell you right there. But remember, and we've talked about this before, trap games easily become a trap game. However, there are some things that Ashley's around. Thank you. Something about Jonathan Quick on 350th career win last night. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's good. Quick is one of those guys that's a borderline Hall of Famer to me. The two cups really help him out. Ashley's saying hi. I know she's at work, so she may not be able to come on. Just remember that I think it was Ivan Barbashev who said it. It was either Barbashev or it was Perron. One of the guys said it. It's a Saturday matinee against Chicago. Enough said. Well, that's the way they need to look at it Sunday. It's a Sunday matinee against Chicago. Look at it that way. Go out and do your thing. Right? That's what you got to do. Plain and simple. That's the way I look at it. That's what I think needs to get done. I don't care who starts, to be honest with you. I hope not. To be honest, if I'm the Blues, I stand pat right now. Right? Is there one? Well, I'll stay on for another 15, 20 minutes if you got time and you want to jump on, Ash. Up to you. If you're St. Louis, you're in the playoffs. You're solidly in the playoffs, in my eyes, right? You're probably not catching Colorado for the President's Trophy or winning the Central Division. Okay, fine. Can you beat Colorado in a 7-game series? Yes. But I put it at 40%. Now, is there a one player that you can add that will put you above 50% to beat Colorado in a 7-game series? And that is the question right now that I think you need to ask. And based on the names of the players that I've seen listed out there, right, on all the possibilities, I say no, because what you would have to subtract to add that player, it's subtraction by addition. You know how they always like to say addition by subtraction? Well, this is subtraction by addition, right? And that's what concerns me. What concerns me. I don't think he'd be a good fit, right? Okay, first of all, we have Ryan O'Reilly, Robert Thomas, Braden Shen, and Bozak has our centers. Where are you going to put Garou? Where are you going to put him? Garou, however you want to say it, right? Where are you going to put him? I don't think. I just don't think that he fits. I mean, be honest. I don't think we need a top 6 player. I really don't think we need a bottom 6 player. I think we could improve our defense a little bit, but not enough to change that 40% to 50%. Right? And I think in goaltending, I think we have enough decent goaltending down below to cover any goaltending holes we might have. Do you agree or disagree, Miss Ashley? Not hearing you. I know I got you on my end. She may have to bounce out and bounce back in. Yeah, that's what I figured. I think Ryan O'Reilly is not a score sheet guy for me, right? I mean, everyone wants to look at the score sheet. I don't look at the score sheet on ROR, right? I don't look at the score sheet on him. I look at everything else. I look at what he does in the neutral zone, what he does in the defensive zone, what he does in the face-off circle. I'm not looking at the score sheet for him. I know, and unfortunately, see that soccer and hockey are two of those games where the score sheet really doesn't tell the story, right? And I see a lot of that. Brian says, I see a rumor of Luke Shen thinking about wanting to join brother Braden Shen, but he has also said he wouldn't mind staying in Vancouver. He said he enjoys it there. You know what? Luke is a bottom 6, though. And I don't think we need a bottom 6. And again, there are very few instances of brothers playing together that it's really, really, really worked out. I know the Blues have had pairs of brothers play together. We had the Cavallini brothers. We had the Sutter brothers. Hell, we had 3 Sutter brothers on the team at one time. 1 coaching, 2 playing. Other than the Sedin twins, I can't think of many brother concepts. Well, okay, Sports Freak, here's the thing. He does so much more than what's on the score sheet, or what you see on the score sheet. If you go look at an in-depth score sheet and you look at his face-off, you look at what he does, what his plus-minus is, you look at what his giveaways are, what his takeaways are, you look at his Fenwick, you look at his Corsi. He's one of those guys that assists and goals don't tell the story, if that makes sense. Right?
Hello.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Can we hear you?
Yeah. But anyways, going back to Claude, I'm kind of on the fence. Like, I wouldn't be angry if we went after him because he adds a certain two-way style that might help us, like, getting out of our zone, because like I've said for a while, I think that our forwards aren't chipping in defensively, and he's very good at that, but I don't think it's necessary.
No, I don't. So I think, what are the chances? So I look at this. If you're making a move to get to the Western Conference Final. Mm-hmm. Right? That's the move you're making.
Yeah.
Because that's the team that you need to beat, Colorado. Mm-hmm. Right? Yes, I know you can't look past the first round, but I like a matchup with Minnesota a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So with that being said, what percentage do you give the Blues of beating Colorado in a 7-game series?
You're talking to me, so you're going to have to see the fact that I'm very optimistic. So I think that the Blues have about a good a shot as any, so 50-50.
Okay, I put our number about 40%.
Yeah.
Right, and I think that's a solid number. I really think 40% is a solid number right now. When you look at a team that is 12 points ahead of us, 6 wins, tearing up the league, really, they don't have many questions. Their biggest question is goaltending, and their goaltending's been good enough. Mm-hmm. Right? And not only that, when you come to the Blues, goaltending's been a question with the Blues. So that's a fair question. I know how you see it. I know how I see it, but everyone else thinks goaltending is a question. So we'll look at that. I want to look at, for me, is there one player that takes that 40% to above 50%?
No.
And I don't see one player that does that. And in fact, any player that you would add, the subtraction that you would have to take away would hurt you more than the player you add.
I agree.
You know how they like to say addition by subtraction? Mm-hmm. I say this is subtraction by addition.
Yeah.
Right? And if you want to know what I mean, Garth Butcher trade.
I get you. Right? I mean, like that's what I said. I don't really see us needing to make any moves, but if they made that move, I wouldn't be upset either. If that's kind of what I'm getting at.
I think I don't think the Blues need to go after a high price free agent.
No.
Right? I really don't. I think we can go after somebody in the middle. We can go. You know what I'd rather the Blues focus on right now? I mean, I know our window's open. I know it is. I'd like to keep it open a little bit longer. I'd go after defensemen in the draft and college defensemen. free agent colleges, right? That's what I go after right now. Right? Set up Springfield. Get some guys there. That is kind of where I would go. That's where I would be at. And not only that, we got two guys that I think are NHL ready players next season.
Yeah.
One of them is one of them has an injury question, and that's Tanner Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is Jake Neighbors. Right? Neighbors, I think, is Neighbors will be playing full time next season.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Hoffer, in my eyes, is one more season away. Hoffer, while I like him, did not have a good prospect tournament, and he did not have a good preseason, in my eyes. Right? But we have Lindgren. I know Lindgren's a little bit older, but sometimes goalies take longer to mature. He may be in that position now where he can really be a solid backup.
And that's what I was seeing out of him. Like I can trust him in a backup capacity. I have no problems with that. I liked him in the preseason. When I say I liked Lindgren, I mean I liked Lindgren as soon as I saw him.
I didn't like him as soon as I saw him, but I was surprised. I was talking to my buddy Bob Kolzik today, right? He is 5th overall in the AHL in qualified goalies with a .229 goals against average.
I mean, he's playing very well. And I mean, I'm not saying that he will ever be a starter at any capacity, but that's why I was okay with the idea of if we did trade Husso, Lindgren could come up and he could back up very well, or we could have a Hoffer, and just switch them out as needed. But we have options.
Yes, but here's the thing with Lindgren that this leaps out at me. He's played 19 games. 19 games. I don't know how many he started. It doesn't say here, right? He's 14-3-1. Right?
That's not terrible.
No, that's let's just use the NHL point system because it's easy, and I think that's what they use too. Seeing this, so if we use the point system, and my math is horrible, so I got to do it on the calculator. So 14 times 2 is 28 plus 1 is 29, right? So 29 divided by 38. I think that's right. 763 points percentage. That's still not bad. I think it's probably a little bit higher than that. I think I did something wrong there.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Because he's got, 19 times 2 is 38. So no, and he's got 20, he's got 29 points. So I would divide that by 38. Yeah, it comes out with 76%, but I think that doesn't seem right.
Hold on.
Because he's got it just doesn't seem right. It seems like his points percentage would be way higher. His save percentage is .922 and is 6th in the league. Right? He is by far one of the top, and he's only played 19 games. You look at the guys ahead of him. Dustin Wolf, 28 games. Akira Schmidt, 19 games. Troy Gushnick, 18 games. Logan Thompson, 24. Calvin Patrick, 36. And then he's got good numbers. I think he'd be a decent backup for us if we need it next year. Right?
I really do too.
Are you coming up with the same numbers I am?
I am.
And that doesn't make sense because, 14, 15, 16. Oh, you know why? Actually, that's not true. You have to look at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. He's really only gotten points in 18 games. He's probably came in, he came in when somebody else got pulled and that didn't count against him. So really you got to use the 18. So 36.
Okay.
So 29 divided by 36.
And
That's
that's an
80%.
81.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a little bit better, but still the numbers are great,
Yeah, no.
right? The numbers are great. And he's doing what I want. He's doing what you need to do down there. He needed a second chance. He might even get a starting job somewhere.
He might.
Right?
I really
On one of
don't
the
see
lower end
it,
teams.
but I think that he would be an excellent option for a backup.
I agree. I really do right now, and I think in an injury role he could come back as a starter.
Yeah, not long term, but he could
Yeah.
probably get you through a couple of months.
Yeah, I think he could. So I like that. You got to work tomorrow, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Blues Blackhawks. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I
I
really
am
am.
too, but I'm not going to be able to watch. 8 to 5 is going to be rough.
Yeah, you'll have it on the radio though.
Nope, I can't. I'll just be checking my phone constantly.
Oh man, when I worked at Pizza Hut, I was always I had when I wore my hearing aids. My hearing aids were Bluetooth, so I had the game in my hearing aids. Yeah, I got in trouble for that a couple of times. Right?
Yeah, I have to lead by example though, because I'm like the manager or something.
Yeah, my manager did a real crappy job of leading by example. So, yeah, it just is what it is. What is it going to say? I completely forgot my mind now. Well, we're coming up on the 1 hour mark. How was work today? Good?
Yeah, it was fine.
Right? Something came up yesterday on yesterday's show, and I wanted to ask you about this.
Okay.
A couple of people thought maybe that I should do a show where I talked about some of my military experience.
Yeah.
Now, I've done it once before. I've had a shipmate on. Right? And I've done it once before. I just don't know if it coexists, and that's my concern.
I mean, I think that any of your followers that are on your friends list would appreciate it. They would enjoy it. But I don't know if you're going to get any new viewers out of it unless they're also prior military experience. But it doesn't really fit with hockey, but it can.
Yeah, I think what's going to be really good is when the interview I do for Oscar Mike Radio. That's on postponed right now until we can figure out a time. But the interview I do for that, I think if it gets shared out amongst my friends or viewers, that might be what they're looking for.
Yeah,
because that's going to talk a little bit about my military experience in hockey and the things I do as a vet and all of that. So trying to be a journalist and dealing with all of that. Oh, by the way, talk to Mike Zook today.
Okay.
If you get press pass, and Mike Zook might be interested in going to a game with you.
Oh, that would be awesome.
He kind of thinks soccer is going to be good for St. Louis.
Yeah, I think it will too, and that'll really make me have to talk.
Yeah.
I think I've been around him like twice, and I didn't say a word.
Yeah, no, he's honestly a really, really good guy.
Yeah,
right?
No, I know. I did talk to him on the phone when I was trying to get a jersey, and then nothing ever came of it, but he seems really nice.
Yeah, get back with him. He's been really, really.
Oh,
really
I know. That's why I was just like, okay.
But he has said I did talk to him. He is going to come on a show, like a pregame and that.
Oh, that's awesome.
For an upcoming game, yeah. I gotta look. I think I gotta check with him. He was a Ranger, too. So when we play the Rangers,
that would be really funny.
Yeah, that might be interesting to get him on when we play the Rangers. I might have to ask him about that tomorrow. I got to call him tomorrow about something. So
yeah,
I might have to ask him about that. See if we can set that up on Wednesday.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it would. And if he's got himself back to normal working hours, he'll be able to do it. Well, guys, thanks for bearing with me today. I had a lot of fun. Ashley, thanks for showing up. Good shows. Hopefully someday we'll fix Facebook, or you know what? We just stay with YouTube. Right? We just stay with YouTube. We get people used to YouTube. So We do the best we can. This is Guy the Y Blues fan for Ashley Slapshot Jones saying aloha mahalo. Happy Mardi Gras if you're of that sort. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Blues Blackhawks, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be on at 2:30 CST. That's 9:30 for me. Aloha mahalo. See you tomorrow.